taking a piece of elastic and going like this. I would be happier if it worked out exactly the way it did in my mind, but it won't be what I dreamed, but it will be what I made. This is now Moo's channel. Hey, it's Matt and welcome back to my channel. I am in my seamstress era. Girl, we'd be sewing. There is something about springtime that like makes me just want to make things. Is that normal? Like, does everyone else feel that way? Like, I want to make stuff and I want to do stuff with my hands, and I mean, I want to do that all the time anyway, but especially this time of year, I feel like I've got this like burst of creativity, and I'm so excited to just like put my skills to the test, learn new skills, and like make something beautiful. Recently, my little sister and I have been going on cold plunges down at the beach. We live in Victoria, BC. So when in Rome, you go to the beach. So we've been going to the beach, and I have been dying for like a nice lightweight pullover skirt that I can put on top of like my biker shorts or a bathing suit, so that like I can wear something that like looks nice if we go to the grocery store after, and I'm not just like going in a bathing suit. Something that's easy, doesn't really wrinkle, and just like looks good disheveled and very easy breezy cover girl, you know, I came across this skirt on Pinterest and I really loved the vibes here, and I went, I can make that. We can totally make this. This is very doable. I feel like we can totally make this. And I'm so confident that we can make this that we are making this without a pattern. You heard me right? You heard it here, folks. We are doing this sans pattern. We're doing this without a pattern. We are doing this with just a thought and a prayer up to Miss Taylor Allison Swift. Please, Taylor, put the sewing gods in our corner. We are saying, please help. So let's do it. I have a couple of fabric options that I wanted to run by you guys. I recently picked up these fabrics from the fabric store. Oh, hold on. I'm feeling very blue today, but we're not going with blue here. The first option is this really pretty 4-way stretch, dusty, muted pink fabric. The fabric is so soft, and I can like tell that it would be super breathable. It would be pretty lightweight. I like the way it drapes and the way it sits. I feel like it would be very pretty and really nice, especially just for like a beach skirt. I think this would work really well. And I also have this beautiful like hunter green color. I love this color. I'm a green girl. I don't know. I have trouble staying away from green. It's this really lightweight. It's almost sheer. Like when you put it up to the light, you can almost see through it, like, but it's not quite sheer. I think this would drape really well. I also think that this is gonna give the same like texture as the one in our inspo picture. I'll remind you. It has that like crepey texture. I don't have crepe fabric, but this is a lot closer. The green is a lot closer to the crepe than this like stretch knit jersey fabric. Even though this one is softer and I really love this, I feel like we should go with the green. I really think the green would be so pretty. I think it's gonna be super flowy and super airy, and I think it's gonna make a really nice skirt. With the fabric decided, going with this green I think is the right choice here. I want to take a quick peek at that inspo pic again and just like really see if I can deconstruct it in my brain, because I feel like that's the only way to like make the pieces. I feel like the pieces are going to be simple, but let's look at it and like deconstruct it. So looking at the top here, like going top to bottom, it is like a waistband, which I feel like we're gonna do like a gathered elastic waistband, just something super simple. This skirt is 3 tiers. I like the 3 tiers. It does look like they're gathered. So this fabric looks to be like crepey material, but then also the seams and the hems are gathered. So we can definitely do that. We can gather this, and that's a super simple step to add a little bit more movement and volume, but I don't want it to be poofy. So when we think about the size of our panels, what I like about this skirt and what I want to keep is it falls pretty flat. It does have movement, but it's not poofy by any means, like it's not bulbous. It falls pretty flat, and I like the seams here. I feel like we could do gathered French seams. That feels a little ambitious, but I have been practicing my French seams. I just did a whole video like breaking down French seams, so if you want to go watch that, give it a look where we can break that down. I feel like I can do French seams on each of the tiers. That way we can get that gathered look with also having that, like, it looks like there's like it's sewn twice. I think we can achieve that with a reverse French seam. And other than that, and other than it being green, I totally feel like we can achieve this. And I'm hoping to get it done this afternoon. Do you think maybe? It's 12:30 now. So let's see how much of this we can get done today. My plan of attack here is to cut out each piece as it goes. I'm gonna cut out the waist and tier 1 together because they're gonna be one piece. And then I'm gonna cut out tier 2, and then I'm gonna cut out tier 3, and then we can join them all. All right, I have all 3 of my tiers cut out, and I am ready to add my gathering stitches. This is super simple. We've gone over gathering stitches before in this channel. I'm doing gathering stitches on the top and bottom edge of each panel before we join anything together or do anything else. Those gathering stitches need to go in so that we can sew them in when we do our French seams. I'm always nervous before I do the first stitch. I don't know why. I'm always like panicking that it's wrong, but it's okay. It will be okay. The top here is in. I've got 2 rows of stitches here. I'll show you. I've got 2 rows of gathering stitch at the top. I'm gonna do the same at the bottom, and then do the same for the other 3 pieces. This is a great time to practice your straight stitch. I love to put a show on. I'm currently rewatching Supernatural. You want to tell me what show you watch when you're doing projects? Please let me know. I'm open to suggestions. Bonus points if it's paranormal, sci-fi-y. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite show is to watch while you're working on projects. When I'm doing gathering stitches, I always put a little jar of my bobbins that I have from projects where like I had bobbin left in the thread but the project is done and there's like not enough to do a full project. You go through a lot of thread doing gathering stitches. So I like to use up all my extra odds and ends when gathering. So that's just like a little tip I've picked up for you. The gathering stitches are all in, and now it's time for the funnest part of a gathering project, or I should say my favorite part of a gathering project, and that is the actual act of gathering. I think this fabric is going to look so pretty all gathered. You can kind of already see it wanting to bunch up, which is very nice. So the situation we are working with here is I want the top edge, the waistband edge, to be a waist measurement, and that I'm going to just gather this whole edge to equal that measurement, and then we will play with the volume and stuff of the bottom tier.
Out the window, no smoke in my eyes. I can hear the wind sighing. It's always been you in the back of my mind. I let it all go. Out the window.
Okay guys, this is no longer a sewing video, it's just a move video. It's just a move video.
Hi, it is 5:23. hated what I was making. The gathering was not the move. I absolutely hated that. Had a little moment to myself, a little mentee bee in the middle of this project. Here's what I'm doing instead. I just did it because I needed to see like if I liked the way it looked, and I do. So here's my new plan. I recut my panels. Recut them. She's recut. I made them about 20 centimeters wider, and I made them all one length. Instead of doing like the tiers different widths, different widths, I made them all the same, like circumference. I made them all the same, and what I'm doing is something closer to the actual picture. I went and I looked back at the proportions of that skirt, and that, like, the first one is much larger. I'll put it here, and you can see the proportions here make more sense, and I don't know what got into my little brain, like the little worm in my brain that said, oh, they need to be even. Girl, that's crazy. I put it up against me. I'm not even gonna show you because it was ugly. And the gathers were ugly. This fabric it just wasn't the right move for this project. And that's okay. It's okay. We live and we learn. Recut my pieces more closer to these proportions. And instead of gathering each individual piece, what I'm going to do is gather the top at the waistband and have like the waistband be the part where it's gathered, and then just have the tiers sewn together. That's what I'm doing instead. But because it is 5:26 now, I'm gonna eat some dinner and come back at this tomorrow with some fresh eyes so that I don't scream, because I'm very close to screaming. Very close. So I'm gonna chill out, and we'll come back. We'll revisit this tomorrow. An afternoon project she was not, but you know what? You win some, you lose some. I lost this round. I will win the war. I don't like battle. Can I go on a tangent here? I hate war analogies. I don't know why I used that one. I hate it, but I can't think of a better one, so it's the one we're using. Okay, I'll see y'all in the morning, and hopefully I'm in a better mood, because right now I'm in a foul mood.
Hey, it's Matt, and welcome back to my channel. It's the next day. We're still working on the skirt.
This is now Moo's channel. Okay, I just want to put that out there. This is now Moo's channel. This is no longer a sewing channel. This is no longer a DIY channel. This is no longer about me. It's about her and her only. It is just about her. Hi, good morning. I am in a better mood. I have had to let go of the fact that the skirt is not going to look like the inspo. The inspo is more like, hey, I like this concept. I just don't have the right kind of fabric for it. That sort of creepy texture. I did a bunch of Googling last night. That's like a special kind of fabric. This fabric is not that. This fabric will never look like that, no matter what I do. This skirt's gonna be its own thing, and it just be a skirt, and that's how they'll be similar, and that's fine. So I've had to work on accepting that. I hope you can accept it too. Remember when I said we were winning the war? Turns out we weren't even reading the same book. We weren't even at the same battle. I showed up somewhere completely different. I didn't show up to the meeting place. So we're just gonna finish this skirt in the way that makes the most sense that I know how to do. At this point, it is just like this big panel with our top section here, the middle section, and then the bottom, and it's just this long piece. So what I'm gonna do is sew the width together in the back, and I'm not gonna do a French seam on this stitch. I'm gonna do a French seam on this stitch, but I'm just gonna do a regular French seam. I'm not gonna do the reverse situation like we do for each of the tiers, and that is going to close up the circle. That's going to like make it so that it's like a tube. It will be a big tube, and then we can hem the tube and put an elastic band in the tube, and it will be a skirt. It will serve the purpose I wanted to in the beginning. It will do the thing. It will do the job. I'm still happy with it. I'm still proud, but it's just gonna be something different. And if there's something I've learned about sewing or learning how to do new things or working on new projects, is more often than not, you don't get what you planned, you get something else, and you just have to learn along the way. Things rarely go to plan, especially when you're learning. It won't be what I dreamed, but it will be what I made, and that's something. I still made this with my own little hands. My little grubby hands still made this, and I'm still proud of it, and it's still progress. So I'm not upset about it. I'm working on letting go. I would be happier if it worked out exactly the way it did in my mind, but I'm practicing letting go. I have a tube, my friends. I have a hemmed tube. I did a super simple rolled hem on this. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. It is just like super easy to do with this type of fabric. You just roll it and go. I didn't even iron. I didn't even pin. And you know your girl. She loves a pin. I just vibed that one out. So we have tube. It is a nice tube. She's looking cute. She's looking great. She needs a little shape. And what's gonna give us our shape is our elastic. And I am using some super duper scientific method to get my waist measurement, and that is taking a piece of elastic and going like this. That feels good. That's a good amount of elastic. That's as much as elastic as I'm gonna use. So this is how much I'm using. Use however much fits where you want it to sit. But before we can thread our elastic, I'm gonna take our tube back to the sewing machine. I'm gonna turn it inside out and fold over the top of the tube, the part that we didn't hem. And I'm making the tube, the little fold over about just like maybe half a centimeter bigger than my elastic is. The elastic does have like a little bit of room in there, but not super big and not like too tight, because you don't want the elastic to like bunch up in there and get like stuck and folded and weird. So you want to give it a little bit of room, only about, I don't know, half a centimeter, a quarter of an inch, or 3/8 of an inch. I think that's the, and it doesn't need to be totally perfect. Just whatever your elastic is, just add a little bit of extra room. And I'm not sewing a full loop. I'm leaving about a 5 centimeter, 1 inch gap in the back so that we can feed our elastic through that after. And I'm front and back stitching on both the sides. I'm using the safety pin method for this elastic to thread it. I'm just gonna pop this elastic on the safety pin like this. She's on there, and then in that little pocket I left in the back where I didn't sew it all the way, I'm going to shove the safety pin in and use that pin to thread through. And the safety pin, you can grab and pull in the fabric a lot easier than the elastic. I tried to do this crazy ways in the beginning. This is definitely the best way to do this. Okay, and I'm at the other end here, waiting for the safety pin to emerge. There she is. Dun 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 dun. And now it's just about futzing all this stuff around. You can see this is bunching up really nicely, and I'm gonna get some nice volume from doing it this way. I didn't need to do all them ruffles and gathers and stuff. That just wasn't necessary. At this point, just for like extra security and like peace of mind in the elastic, I will take both ends of the elastic and safety pin them together so that I don't lose either end in the tube and have to do it all over again. Ta-da! There we go. So this is the factory edge here and there, and then on the outside it's gonna look like this. But before we do that, I gotta finish off this elastic. Finishing the elastic is super simple. I'm doing a box stitch on the elastic where they overlap. I have them overlapping about 2.5 centimeters, an inch-ish, and this box stitch will allow the elastic to stretch without coming apart. And once that box stitch is on, I'm just finishing off the little tube we did by adding a stitch to close it off so that everything's tucked away nice and neatly. Okay, I think it's time that we try this puppy on. You know, sometimes you don't know what's gonna happen until it happens, and this is the prime example of that. I think I struggled so hard with this skirt because I said I wanted one thing, but my heart, my brain, and my hands did a whole other thing. I'm realizing after styling this, putting it on, getting like an outfit together with it, that I did not make a skirt for the beach. I didn't want a skirt for the beach. I do practically want a skirt for the beach in my little brain, but that's not what I wanted to make. It's not what my heart wanted to make. It's not what my brain wanted to make. It's not what my little hands wanted to make. I realized I made a fall time skirt, not a springtime skirt, because just like every other girl in the world, my favorite time of the year is fall. And when I think of cute clothes, I think of fall clothes. And I'm realizing I know how to make two things aesthetically: summer and fall. And that just makes this project make so much more sense to me. Once you put her in the right context, I actually love her. She's super lightweight, super versatile. I can see myself putting tights on under this in the fall, wearing it into the winter. It's pretty mild here, so you can get away with that sort of stuff. Once I put on the big cable knit, put on some jewelry, put my glasses on, I went, oh, Yeah, I need a book, I need a chai tea latte, and I need to go to a library. That's what I need to be doing. I need to be living my librarian girl fantasy. Who knew? Who knew? The girl at the beginning of this video, that Madison, had no idea. Let this just be a lesson, folks. Sometimes you don't get what you want, you get what you need. And what I needed was a fall skirt, and I didn't know it, even though it's April. I'm ready for fall. Okay, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. This was a struggle, but we made it. We made it somewhere beautiful. And you know what? That's all that matters. I am happy to struggle if at the end I feel satisfied. And I do. I hope you do as well. I will see you guys next Sunday. Thank you so much for being here. I should say right now, if you're still watching and you're not subscribed, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the? Do it. Duh. Like, if you're still watching at this point and you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Like, you're just teasing me. Let's do the thing. I'm here every Sunday. Let's hang out. I would love to have you. If you have any comments or concerns, leave them down below. I already know what you're going to say. Pockets. Yes, I should have done pockets. No, I don't know how to do them. Yes, it is on my list to learn. We'll get there eventually. Stay with me, folks. I will see y'all later. Oh, Ketchup has volunteered herself to be the cat of the week. Say goodbye, Ketchup. Oh, you want to show them your paws? What? She's got the cutest little paws. Look at them. Oh, yeah, baby. She's just a little baby. She's so miserable. Just a little girl with little paws. Love you. My girl, I love you so much. See y'all later. Bye.